Welcome to Sherwin-Williams.
Hi there. I heard paints are 30% off.
Yep, and stains too.
Right here.
Mm-hmm. Only at your neighborhood Sherwin-Williams store.
Right now?
Well, August 29th through September 9th.
Ah, bring it in. I'm a big hugger.
It's cool. Ask Sherwin-Williams August 29th through September 9th and save 30% on paints and stains with sale prices starting at $26.94. Only at your local Sherwin-Williams store. Retail sales only. Some exclusions apply. See store for details.
What's the focus? Pop culture, movies, and TV news. What's the focus? What's the focus?
You're awful! The preceding joke was brought to you by Men. We don't know what we did.
All right, this is WTF, What's the Focus podcast, and tonight joining me is just one of our co-hosts, Mike Michio. How's it going, buddy?
Hey, what is the focus tonight, man? Let's do this.
Yeah, man, we got some little different stuff going on now since we brought you aboard with the opportunities to not only bring up movies and TV shows, but video games. So on the docket tonight, we're going to be going over the new Terminator movie, and also a game called Death Stranding. So,
but first, we got to get to the chopper. Come on.
We need to get to the chopper.
All right.
Man, I got to tell you, I used to love the Arnold Schwarzenegger adaptation that Mad TV used to do. That was
dude. Yes.
One of my favorites, man. Those were classics. And sad, that's how old we are. They're now classics.
Dude, Will Sasso is amazing.
Right?
I loved his impersonations.
Oh my gosh, so funny. There's so many different ones that I just love.
If I'm you and you're me, then who am I?
Oh my gosh.
Who the hell am I?
That was really good. That was scary good. All right. So, yeah, man, this is really, really cool. So this is Terminator-Dark Fate. This is really picking up right after Terminator 2 Judgment Day. So
yeah, forget all those other spin-off whatever sequels that are multi-universe. This is legitimately supposed to be straight out of T2. Probably what should be the Terminator 3 we should have gotten instead of that horrible version of Terminator 3 years ago. But
multiple horrible versions of it that we got.
Yeah, James Cameron's back to produce this. I don't know how much that entails, but he definitely has a say. And yeah, Tim Miller's directing. So
yeah, well, shit, man. I gotta imagine that James Cameron's just so busy filming his 9 other Avatar movies.
Oh my God, right? Didn't it just get delayed too? Like one of them?
I'm sure it did. Yeah. That seems to be the whole system with them.
Yeah.
Promise it's sedate and push it back a little bit.
Yep. So he's going back to the basics.
Yeah, I'm hoping. He is busy, so I am hoping that his fingerprint, is somewhere very much on this movie. I mean, the second Terminator movie is one of my favorite movies of all time. I think it was just really well done. The action was just on point. When I was younger and watched it legitimately, scared the crap out of me too. I thought just all around it was just a good story. And then I think because it did so well and it was so successful, that's why the next movies to come out after that, when they bombed, I think it affected a lot of people. I think that a lot of people were bummed out about it, man. I think they were expecting good things because of the first two, and then they were unfortunately given garbage. So much so, like you said, we're going to be retconning those, and we're going to be going into just really the third adaptation of Terminator. So pretty excited, man. We're getting some original characters back, which is so awesome.
Huge return. And
Linda Hamilton as Sarah Connor. Oh, dude. Yeah. Big fan. Yeah. Big huge part of the chemistry that was built up in the first two films. It's nice to have her back, and growing up too, the Terminator series was near and dear to my heart, and just to see it just fall flat on its face for the last two iterations. No, it was 3. Yeah, Terminator 3, Terminator Salvation, and then Terminator Genesis. Oh God, just terrible, just
terrible,
horrible,
terrible. Yeah,
horrible.
they literally
And
terminated the franchise almost, I feel.
yeah, and what's a shame is that they had decent actors and actresses within these movies. It was just pure writing. I mean, they had Christian Bale
Yep.
in one of those, right? I mean,
Yeah.
he's a big name actor, and I believe that was kind of in the midst of, I think, some of the later Batman movies. So I mean, he was doing well for himself to get people into the seats.
He also had a mental breakdown during the filming of that movie. So yeah, I don't know. I don't know where his headspace was at that point, but
It was just that bad. He was just so upset. He was just couldn't even handle it. He's like, I do not enjoy this.
Yeah.
I get it. I get it. No, but I'm reading this article and it's saying 27 years after the events of Terminator 2 Judgment Day. Can you believe it's been 27 years for real?
I feel old.
Oh my God. So the description of this, kind of cool. He says a new modified liquid metal Terminator, played by Gabriel Luna, is sent from the future by Skynet in order to terminate Danny Ramos, who's Natalie Reyes, a hybrid cyborg human, Mackenzie Davis, and her friends. Sarah Connor comes to their aid, as well as the original Terminator, Arnold, for a fight for the future. So, I mean, from the trailer, and we're about to watch it, there's a lot going on.
Yeah, and there's a lot that's already kind of set up in the trailer that just makes you wonder where exactly are these characters that led off from T2? Like, what the hell have they been doing the past 20-something years? So, I mean, I'm honestly wondering, if Sarah had to, time jump into the future to change something from the past and vice versa. But yeah, this is gonna be pretty awesome because, it looks like, I mean, we got one quick glimpse in the trailer of Arnold, but, I don't know how much of a role. Yeah, old man Arnold. I don't know how much of a role he'll have in this one, but it seems like he's definitely being included, which is great.
Yeah, I feel like you just have to, right? At this point, it's just, he's the original guy. He's the OG, so to speak. So you got to get him in there, even if it's for a little scene. I mean, he's getting up there in age. I mean, how old is Arnold? Is he? I mean, he's got to be
70-something.
72, I think I saw.
Yeah.
A matter of fact, did you see that article that he actually just got kicked in the back at some function? I forget what it was for, but some dude just come over and just.
Arnold Sports of South Africa or something. It was like a celebrity training event obviously funded by, I don't know, by him, by being thrown on his behalf or whatever. But yeah, that was crazy.
Dude,
I went out of the blue and just drop kicking him in the back. And he barely moved.
Oh, his comments afterwards were just on point Arnold comments, man. He was like, I thought somebody, because, the crowd was so pumped up. I thought somebody just bumped into me. I didn't know. Actually, I was like,
at first I had no idea what was going on. I just thought a heckler ran into me. I had no idea. And I stood there solid, and I just what's going on? Whatever, it happens.
Then you just got to end out on just a random,
whatever, come see my movie. It's going to be great.
Oh my God, dude.
It's super fantastic.
It's super fantastic. It's box office smash hit.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Number one blockbuster. Wait, it's not coming this summer. It's coming for the holiday. So stay tuned.
So go see it. Go see it now.
Go see it. Go see it now.
Oh my God. Too much fun. Yeah. So, I mean, just that. I know that's totally going on a tangent, but I saw that video and I started laughing once I read the comments. I was like, that's just perfect Arnold commentary right there.
Arnold Schwarzenegger. Jesus Christ. Come on.
Oh, I don't know. Maybe just because he wants to be the guy that says, I kicked Arnold. And then everybody could be like, you're the guy that kicked Arnold and then got arrested.
Yeah. He bounced right off of him. It was kind of embarrassing for him.
Dude, he's still so jacked. He's 72 and he can whoop my ass up and down the floor. I guarantee it.
Yep.
All right, so let's watch this trailer, man, and let's kind of just give our commentary, just kind of like we did last time. So anybody who's new to the show, I mentioned it last time, but we're gonna start doing kind of midweek shows that are not going to be quite as long as our weekend recording shows, but we're going to get something out to you guys. It looks like 2 times a week. So the topics will obviously change. This one being about a video game and a movie. Our last podcast, obviously, a very interesting, sloppy podcast was about Game of Thrones, but we had fun. And then next week, who knows? It's a mystery. We'll have to figure that one out. So, but anyway, that's kind of how things are going. So, Mike, are you ready to watch this thing?
Yeah, sure. Let's go for it. I was just going to mention that, if anyone wants to write in and give us some ideas for future topics they'd like us to discuss, feel free. Go for it.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we appreciate any kind of feedback or just any kind of reviews. Speaking of reviews, we got a couple of reviews, Mr. Michio, on iTunes reviews that I kind of just wanted to give quick little shout outs to.
Yeah.
One of them, it's a 5-star. It's from Malivia, and it's labeled Wealth of Knowledge. It says, I consider myself pretty nerdy, but Ryan and his pals beat me by a mile. Thanks for covering some of my favorite films and characters. Keep up the good work, guys. Thank you.
Yeah.
That's awesome. That's why we do it. I mean, we do it because we love it and we have a lot of fun, but hearing from other people.
And we will only be reading 5-star reviews. I'll just say that now. I'm just kidding.
Oh, no. I can't wait to read a 1-star where somebody just lets into us, man. Just gives it to us with both barrels. Oh,
there you go.
It's going to be a special moment. It's like that dollar bill that you get when you first open a new place that you hang on to. That's going to be our dollar bill, our 1-star dollar bill. Can't wait.
A mixture of the smell of either a burnt baby diaper or maybe some metal from somewhere. I don't know.
Oh gosh, yeah. It's gonna be a roof. All right. So the next one came in from let's see, a 5-star again. Again, thank you. It's labeled Great Crew of Nerds. From a fellow nerd, you have to listen to this crew for some in-your-face knowledge about pop culture, movies, comics, and everything in between. Awesome listening experience. The Brovenger. Just for you guys who don't know, the Brovenger is actually a podcast as well, and he's been very, very supportive over social media, and we've been supporting him as well. Him and his pal do a great job also. So when you guys get a chance after you getting done listening to us, give them a listen. I think you'll like what they have to say. So anyway, thank you guys for the reviews. We would love to continue to read these reviews in the beginning of every show. So we really appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks, guys.
All right, so let's dive back into this, and I am ready to play this trailer. So
without further ado,
are
we going to do a countdown? 3, 2, 1, go!
All right, Dark Fate. Love it.
So dark.
So dark.
Darker than all the rest.
But then it actually gets extremely light.
No, it's a nightmare.
Yeah. What's a nightmare? Who's that?
I don't know. It's like 30 cool. I don't know.
Ken Said Ventures, they own everything now. Jesus.
All right, so I love the song. I'll tell you that right off the bat.
Yeah, I'm a little bipartial here for that. But I'll go into that later.
Well, I have some information of other reasons why I enjoy the song. It's kind of
good.
Cool.
Yeah, I want some history on that.
Yeah.
Okay, so it looks like this Terminator can multiply himself. All right, interesting.
Yeah. So it looks like when he does that, the endoskeleton stays as one part, and then his clone is kind of the more humanoid-looking one.
Yeah.
That's kind of interesting. Yeah, that's new.
Some form of
that's
mitosis
upgraded
or something.
Oh my God, Sarah Connor's so sick.
Oh, back. She didn't even clear the car door before she started shooting there. That was awesome.
No, and then she just decided to pull out a missile launcher with zero hesitation and just zero emotion and just blast us.
It just owns it.
She's so cool. Producer James Cameron returns. I mean, I'm excited for that. I have confidence in James Cameron.
Almost human.
I mean, a lot of people, maybe the average fan probably knows, but or doesn't know. Linda Hamilton used to be married to James Cameron, so she kind of drifted away from the series ever since their breakup.
Oh, you know what? I didn't know that. That's very interesting.
Yeah.
Looks like they times mended a little bit then, huh?
Yeah.
Ooh,
there he is, and that's all you see. I'm back.
Yeah, I am back. And it looks like that was just him underwater fighting.
Yeah,
because
this scene
Terminator
is
looks
sick.
big.
I've never seen a fight in the air with two commercial airliners just colliding into each other,
hanging on a Humvee, flying through the air, parachuting.
Yeah, pretty badass.
So, oh man, I have a lot to say. This is awesome. I love this part. Oh, sledgehammer to the knee, sledgehammer to the face.
Oh, T-1000 regeneration. Yep. Let's go.
Oh, let's do it, man.
I'm so going to go hunting after this.
It's too late, man. I'm not going anywhere.
I'm good.
You're like, after this
I think I'll hold
podcast-
off. It's like almost 10 to 11 right now.
After this podcast, and I've been drinking heavily for hours, I'm going hunting.
I'm going nowhere.
It's
I'm going upstairs.
Oh my
to bed.
god, I'm going straight to bed.
Mhm.
Not necessarily going to sleep, but I'm going to bed.
Yeah.
But wow, dude,
A lot going on there.
Yeah, some things right off the bat, and we could just kind of speak freely about it. Obviously, is you said it. There's some CGI that looks a little not too great.
Yeah, it looks a little bit more like a AAA video game, but yeah, I don't know. I'm a little concerned about that. It looked a little. I mean, especially when they use slow motion CGI, it really calls for even much more detail. So,
Sure.
yeah, I don't know. That opening scene there with whatever that whatever 1000 1800 whatever they want to call him. Yeah, he looked a little cheesy, a little dated, but
It looked like a video game.
I'm
It
a
really
little concerned about that.
It
I
looked
mean,
just
also
like a
too,
video
like it's a well lit scene too, so like that doesn't really add to the effect.
So he's actually a Rev 9, an advanced Terminator sent back in time to terminate Danny, consisting of a traditional solid endoskeleton surrounded by skin of a mimetic polyalloy.
Wouldn't that be great if Rev was just short for Revision 9? That'd be
Oh,
great.
that would be
Just something
great.
simple.
Oh, and this is what we were talking about. It possesses the ability to separate these two components into two separate, fully autonomous. Oh gosh, I'm not even gonna
Autonomous. Terminator
autonomous.
units.
Jeez,
There it
thank
is.
you. God, autonomous. Oh God, it's not just one of those stupid
It
words
happens to
that
the
I.
best of us.
Man, I'm not gonna even edit it out. People
I
just need to
know words.
I know. I read good. I read good.
I read good.
She
okay?
made fun of me because I didn't read good.
Okay.
I don't even feel like justifying it. There's just words that are just harder on the tongue.
You know what? I'm done. That's the end of the podcast. We're done.
You know what? I quit this whole thing. I'm over it, man.
This shit is hard.
Is it hard? I feel like it's hard to a point, but then I look at my situation and I'm like, okay, I'm in a comfortable chair. I have a comfortable little cardigan on. I got a full glass of whiskey. Man, I don't know. I'm feeling pretty good.
Oh, man, you're drowning over there.
All right. So, right off the bat, for me personally, I think the trailer as a whole looks awesome. The action looks great. Yes, there is some CGI that I think is definitely going to get cleaned up. I can't think that the man who's responsible for Deadpool would ever release a movie that was so obvious CGI'd like that. I have to have more confidence going into this. You know what I mean? Give him the benefit of the doubt,
Yeah,
and if it doesn't happen, then, shit. But for the time being, it's like, I'm going to go in with, high expectations, but also,
Prepare yourself for the worst.
yeah. I feel like you got to do that with everything, right? You got to prepare yourself for the worst, just in case.
Honestly, I feel the same way right now as I did when I saw the trailer for Terminator Genesis. I was super excited for that movie and was really let down. Obviously, that was the first movie where Arnold was actually back in a Terminator role after T3.
Mhm.
And at that time too, they casted at the time, Emilia Clarke, aka Daenerys Targaryen, whatever, for young Sarah Connor, and I was super excited. And they also had Jason Clarke as, who's great from, the Planet of the Apes series, or I think he was in the second one only, but he's a great actor as well. But he's in Zero Dark 30 as well, and I was super excited. I was like, wow, these are two great actors, and it just did not bode well. And that probably was just due to, like we were saying earlier, the writing. The writing for these other movies were just pretty bad.
Yeah, really bad.
Yeah, I think what it is, all this talk about Judgment Day and the rise of the machines, and I don't think anyone has proven yet that there is an actual story to be told if Judgment Day, either does happen or doesn't happen, that is actually good at this point. It hasn't been done yet. Everything in Terminator 2 was just the ultimate, talking about, oh man, like, how do we prevent the fall of mankind and the rise of the machines, right? Like, I feel like we were so let down after T3 because that was just more or less like teasing into what what Judgment Day should have been, but the time came and passed and it didn't happen. So yeah, I don't know where I feel on this as far as like where it's going to go with the story. It seems like it's just 7 years after T2.
Yep.
And the world does not look any different as it looks normally today. So yeah, there's going to be a lot of, I don't know how much time they're going to spend on like backstory as far as like what Sarah's been doing, where's John, what's he been doing, are they just been kind of hiding and waiting for like a possible Judgment Day to come, or have they been going back and forth, to and back from the future just to prevent shit from happening? And it's just a constant battle, like it just never ends. Like the machines are always from the future trying to send a Terminator back to kill either Sarah or John, which ultimately kills Sarah, right? So therefore John's never born. The leader of the resistance never comes.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's a lot at stake as far as redeeming the franchise. But I mean, it's a Terminator movie. Arnold signed up for it. I'm excited. So
Gabriel Luna, who's playing Rev 9, do you recognize him from anything? Do you watch Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. at all?
I heard about this. Yeah, he's Ghost Rider, right?
So he played Ghost Rider, and you know what? He did a great job. He's a good actor. So cool. when I actually saw them cast him, I was very excited because now at least I've seen him in something that I watch regularly. And for him to go out there and act like he did in that show, at least for the bad guy of this movie, I'm pretty pumped, man. I think he's going to do a good job. And I mean, he looks just, keeping his face, zero emotion. He looks like, just even in the trailer for me, that he's got the look down. I mean, he definitely is playing into that, cybernetic organism. He definitely looks like a machine, just with some human skin on his face.
Yeah, he totally looks like almost a carbon copy of like a Robert Patrick as the T-1000. Like, oh, this is just an advanced model of what we've already seen, kind of.
Yeah, absolutely. So a couple of cool things in this that I was just going to share with you, even just with the song. So you said you were a little hesitant on the song. Is that
only because Terminator's never been known for having an original song in the first two movies? Like the soundtrack that was just a basic score, and I believe the first two were done by Brad Fiedel, which I absolutely love the original Terminator 2 soundtrack. I mean, the only songs you get in there are from Guns N' Roses, and that's it. But those aren't specific for that movie or anything. So, no, I mean, I'm not absolutely opposed to it, but we never hear the banging of the metal drums or anything in this trailer, which makes me feel like this is a Terminator movie, which is synonymous to the franchise, right? Like, I need to hear that.
Yeah, and we will. This is just, the main first trailer. This is just something intro. But the reason I like it is because of that. I know we're going to get that classic number back. But there was a actual interview that was saying that Sarah Connor is actually known in this movie as a Terminator hunter. So from that aspect of just putting that in and marketing her being back into this franchise, and really the focus being on her, I kind of enjoyed it. And I mean, the song's called Hunter. She's now known in this next movie as a Terminator hunter. So it's kind of a little tribute to her,
Yeah.
So in that aspect, I thought it was very appropriate. I thought it was kind of cool. And this is a remake.
That's cool. That gives more backstory as to what we were trying to discuss earlier, was just what exactly has she been doing all this time. And yeah, if she's been hunting Terminators, I hope that it's, rather than just mention it in the film, I hope there is some callback scenes to be like, oh, look what happened maybe like 5 to 10 years after, whatever year that was. I think it was 1993 or 97 was when 97 was when Judgment Day was supposed to hit, I believe. And, in the story timeline.
Yeah, in the story timeline, because it was filmed and released in 91.
Yeah. Yeah, so yeah, I'm intrigued to see like how these characters, what they've been up to, and if you're saying that's the route that she's just been hunting whatever Skynet has been throwing through, through the time machine, then yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, and I think that sounds sets up a lot of backstory. She's
always hunting. Yeah.
Well, you see her even in Terminator 2, and there's a couple other scenes in here. So if you look at the actual street sign when they're on the freeway, they are in Mexico. And if you see where she's kind of ended off in Judgment Day, I think she's like somewhere in like the Mexico area. And if you remember, she has an entire arsenal that she kept underground. And so she had a lot of weapons, and she was already locked and loaded to become this hunter. So in that regard, too, as just a callback to Judgment Day, it's already kind of calling it back. And so I hope they do refer back to some of the films and explain a little bit of some other stuff. And I think they will. So I don't know, man. I thought, like I said, I think this is going to be a great movie. I love the second one. I love that they're getting rid of the other ones. As a whole, great actors and actresses. I love the main female character. Not Linda Hamilton, but what's her name is Mackenzie Davis.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And she's playing a character called Grace. So she's the most interesting one to me because she's a hybrid sent from the future. So they said,
she's listed as some prototype Terminator. So
yeah,
that'll be interesting.
Yeah, something different. Obviously, you see her show up and she's naked and she's fighting those guys outside those cops under like that bridge. And you could tell that's right when she shows up.
Mm-hmm.
And she's throwing those guys around like rag dolls. So she's definitely got some mechanics in her. But she also she tells Linda Hamilton's character, Sarah Connor, that she is human. So it's going to be very interesting to see if we're getting kind of, human brain, robot body situation, kind of like Alita,
Yeah, totally.
Something kind of like that where it's total exoskeleton. It looks human, but just the brain. We'll see. They can get creative with it, but her character looks awesome. I'm excited for those new characters too, and I love that they have new models of Terminators and all that kind of stuff just to keep it fresh, but also recalling some of the originals just with a few upgrades. I'm pumped, dude.
Yeah, I'm actually wondering too that this actress Natalie Reyes who plays this Danny Ramos, I'm actually wondering if this is the same character that we see in Terminator 2, where, like you were saying, the armory that they had in the bunker, that the friend that they meet up with in T2, where they get all the supplies to go destroy the what is at the time the business building for Skynet.
Mm-hmm.
I'm actually wondering if this is the daughter of that character of the. Remember, I think there was a little boy and a little girl that's in that scene. But I'm actually wondering if that's just a family member. That's kind of ties that loop together. But
yeah,
we'll see.
I think there's going to definitely be some kind of connection. I mean, I think that's how you kind of tie it up in a nice, tight little bow, right? They have to have some connection to the past ones to make it, make sense for this one.
Yeah, totally.
And when are we going to learn, technology, guys? I mean, Skynet?
Yeah, I'm actually wondering what exactly in the present here they're going to set up for, who exactly is still, I guess interfering with Skynet or is pushing for the machines to go viral or whatever,
And
to
you know what?
become self-aware.
There's probably some sick people out there listening to this that's just like super pumped for us as a society to build robots just like these ones. And they probably all start out good, people.
Hell yeah, you're talking to one, bro.
Oh my God. They start out good, Mike, and then they just nip you in the ass.
Yep.
When you're least expecting it, then they'll take over the world. Gosh.
Treat Siri, Alexa, and Google Home right, man, because one day you never know. You never know.
And here I am treating Alexa just really
shut up!
Trash, man. Now you're making me feel bad. Does it have feelings? Yeah. It's learning. Oh God.
I don't know, but she records everything. So,
do you think it just sends in information to Amazon, just being like, "This guy's an asshole"?
Yeah, there might be some type of machine learning there that knows based on your responses of like, okay, well, this guy is very passive aggressive and he's a little hostile, so categorize him as a giant dick.
who always asks me for a joke in the day, and I give it to him, and he's never happy with it.
Yeah. It's like, okay, Alexa, well, fuck off.
She hears that one a lot. A little more than she should. So, Mike, I wanted to ask you, so let's call it a day for Terminator, unless you have anything more you'd like to add about it.
No, yeah, I mean, super excited. I'm hoping maybe around Comic-Con time we might see another trailer, maybe shows a little bit more about the plot. right now, this just feels like some early flashes into what possibly might be going on, and maybe some new introductions to some characters. But yeah, there's a lot of stuff they got to clean up, and hopefully they just really focus on the first two films and keep it going there. I'd like to think that this treatment would be kind of similar to how they approached the latest Halloween movie, which was just a direct sequel to the first Halloween.
I actually really enjoyed it.
And I super enjoyed that approach. It had nothing to do with the other movies in the franchise, and it's a nice clean slate to just start with. And I'm super excited and hopeful that maybe they go that route and just give us a sequel we never got to T2.
Yep. Absolutely. All right, everybody. That was Terminator-Dark Fate, and that's coming to theaters November 1st this year, 2019. We are actually going to take a little bit of a break, so just hang tight, and we'll get right back to you.
Hang tight, and thanks for listening. Bye.
Bye.
WTF What's the Focus podcast is brought to you by Anchor. Anchor is the easiest way to make a podcast. Anchor gives you everything you need in one place for free, which you can use right from your phone or computer. Creation tools allow you to record and edit your podcast so it sounds great. They'll even distribute your podcast for you so it can be heard everywhere, including Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, and many more. You can easily make money from your podcast with no minimum listenership. Download the Anchor app today or go to anchor.fm to get started.
All right. Welcome back. That was probably a whole millisecond for everybody listening. So I would say that's a pretty easy break for them. What do you think, Mike?
Yeah, I hope that went a lot smoother for you guys than it did for us, because man, we did a lot in that break. Like
we did a lot.
It's probably been about 6.5 hours in between that break. No, I'm just kidding.
Half of it was me in the bathroom. It's been rough.
I mowed the lawn, had 2 bowel movements, and ate 3 meals. I've had a full day.
That's a full day. I don't even know how you stay on this podcast. I'd be napping right now. You need a cup of coffee.
Touche.
All right. Well, we're going to get into our next segment. And Mike, I'm going to let you take this one over, man. Like I said, this one, very excited to talk about, called Death Stranding. So let's jump into it.
Yeah, let's hop into it. This is a game that was revealed like 3 years ago at E3, 2016, I believe. And this is Hideo Kojima's first game outside of the Metal Gear Solid series after his abrupt departure from Konami Games. He had been with Konami for over 20-something years, covering that Metal Gear Solid series, which is one of the most robust franchises in gaming and has some of the deepest story-driven gameplay that I've yet to see and that I've experienced. And I'm super excited to see that he's already landed on his feet right away after he left. And Sony bought exclusive rights to start his own studio, and this is going to be his first game. And I am super excited. He got what seems to be an amazing Hollywood star-studded cast to be in this film, not in this film, but in this game, which
could be a film.
Which could be a film. I mean, literally, that's where we are right now in the state of gaming. Like, some games have such a high theatricality to them that, they could easily translate very, very well to film. But
I think there's been 9 confirmed games that are going into production within film in the next 3 years.
Yeah, there's a lot. And I mean, to some of them I go, I don't know if I really want a movie of that because the games are so damn good. I don't just feel like it just kind of tarnishes it. Sure. But for the longest time, I've always wanted a Metal Gear Solid movie. So I believe that is definitely happening. But anywho, Death Stranding. This game is out there. As far as the meaning itself, Death Stranding is to be loosely or maybe significantly tied in a metaphorical sense to, as simple as whales beaching themselves on shore for no apparent reason other than what looks to be them either committing suicide through some unknown reason or, just literally aquatic life showing up on remote islands and beaching themselves. And I think there's a metaphorical meaning to this game about maybe where we are as a society and kind of, maybe we've accumulated, or we've become such consumers for so long that maybe we just kind of we're victims of our own demise, so to speak. And I think this world is going to this game is going to explore a world that we haven't seen in games, much less maybe we haven't even seen in film either. But I feel like there's two parts here where this game might actually touch what happens on the other side, meaning, what happens after death and maybe coming back from death and having that back and forth, that mechanic that I don't feel has ever been done, definitely in games, but I mean, it hasn't really been explored that much in any other type of media as well. So that's honestly the goal, I feel, for Kojima, is to give something to players that they've never experienced before. And, for what we originally saw back in 2016, obviously we see our main character played by Norman Reedus. For those that don't know, very popular on Walking Dead as Daryl. He's one of the lead characters in this game.
He's my boy.
He's my boy. You're my boy, Daryl.
You're my boy. I said I wanted ice in my lemonade.
Yeah.
You dropped down and give me a 10 now.
You know what? You look like a juice box guy. Why don't you go get me a juice box?
Why don't you give me a juice box? Oh, my God.
Yeah. Good
so,
movie.
May I interject just for a second? Just
Dude,
a couple.
Go for it. I could go on for a while, but
yeah, no, I want you to. Just a couple things that I like right off the bat, and some things I just want to let our listeners know, like for anybody who's new listening. So, first thing I'll say about this game, I love that the first footage was shown in 2016, and now we're sitting pretty here in 2019. It means they
Still
took their
interested.
time.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I feel like, the biggest problems with any production, whether it's video games, writing, within books or scripts or anything that's done, is not to rush anything. And you really do see the work that people put into it when it's not rushed and it's done the right way. And that maybe it's not getting as much publicity right now, just because it has been now sitting out for a while in production. But I think when people get their hands on this game, I think that through word of mouth and then through social media, directly after, I think that's when we're going to start seeing the sales on this game really come through. So that part of you just taught me that's kind of the first thing that came to my head that really got me even more interested in this game, that they did take that time. I'm very, very excited. And for anybody who's a new listener, not to toot your own horn, Mike, but I got to tell you, this guy who's telling you about this game works for EA. So if anybody hadn't listened to a previous episode, this is not just a normal man telling you this information about a game. You're getting an inside man to tell you this information, which I think is freaking cool, man.
Yeah.
It's freaking cool. So I just really enjoy having you on the show. So I love these now new segments about video games and hearing about them. I think it's a lot of fun.
Thanks, man. Appreciate it. It's very, very humbling. But yeah, man, the Metal Gear Solid series has been near and dear to my heart for so long. I've always, enjoyed that series, and I'm so amped up to see what Kojima can bring next. And with this game, I just want to go over briefly like what at this point, because earlier this week we had almost like a story trailer drop, and from what it looks like, this is a game that takes place in some futuristic version of the United States. America is somewhat, it's somewhat surprisingly referenced several times during the gameplay trailer that America's kind of fallen, and we don't know where we are at as a country right now. So everybody feels divided. This honestly kind of relates to maybe what we're actually experiencing in real life, but
it definitely plays into it.
It definitely plays off of that, and this could be one of the actual alternate outcomes or whatever. But it plays into that fantasy of the what ifs, right? So a lot going on. As far as the gameplay mechanics, I feel like this is going to be definitely an open world type game. It will feature multiplayer that is asynchronous, where you will be experiencing this game with someone else online that might be able to aid in your quest of whatever missions you're on, or
thank God,
leave clues for you or something.
I'm going to really be leaning on you in this game, Mike. Just letting you know now.
Yeah, it's hard to say from a traditional standpoint as far as what actual game mechanics will be in this game, but from that trailer, there's a survival element at play that I see in this game. Obviously, it's got the stealth stuff as well that we've traditionally have seen in the Metal Gear Solid series. And then there seems like there's some type of symbiotic relationship between the babies that are in this game that are actually in these. I guess you want to say that they're these baby tanks, right? And you're connected to them.
By the way,
and yeah, there's a lot of symbolism going on here as far as what exactly these babies are capable of in the game and how they play into the story, and the symbiotic relationship that's involved with that. There's a lot of themes going on here that maybe get pulled from some type of biblical sense, or just from the other inspirations out there. But I mean, so far from what I've seen, the combat looks to be kind of reminiscent of a combination of what we saw in like maybe The Last of Us combined with Uncharted series.
It's not that hand-to-hand combat like face action. There was a lot of actual running kind of motions away and stealth, more than just action. Like I said, face to face.
Yeah, it might even have some like traditional close quarter combat, sequences where obviously button tapping at the right time might be imperative or whatever. But it definitely feels like it's pulling from many other different types of games, but also inventing its own types of mechanics as well. It looks like it also has some type of like sonar, like radar system where it can detect entities that are nearby, which are the enemies in the game that look to be at this point undisclosed as to what exactly they are. Other than they look
very
like
Predator-esque with the like red outline of like the person of when they used to be there in the past.
Yeah, they look like something exactly like it's almost like a dark
heat
entity,
kind of not so much color, but just like you could see the out. You know what I mean? It's
no, yeah. I mean, I honestly,
any of you who haven't seen this trailer, don't be sad. Just don't. What we'll do is we'll put actually the YouTube video link attached to our show notes. So if you'd like to pause and watch that trailer, I highly recommend it. It's great. And then you can finish up with us, or, feel free to finish up with us now. It's not anything spoiler. You can obviously go out and get it. So you can finish it and then, watch the trailer right after. So we'll do that for you, just so you guys are aware.
And that's what's so cool about this game too, that it looks like, a lot of people like to interpret like what things might be in a game or like where they're going with the story. I think it's really neat when you see multiple opinions online of where this possibly could go. Really opens the door for the imagination to run wild, and even from what seems to be in this game, that there is no actual traditional death in this game, that dying will just require you to find your way back to the other side. So I don't feel like there's going to be like any type of like permadeath where your character has to literally just start over. I feel like they'll have some type of balance in between, like you don't want to be on the other side. You need to find, whatever it is, go through the light to get back to the living, or vice versa, whatever it is. Or
and if you do die, then you go right back just to the beginning.
Yeah, like I feel like there's going to be this tethering relationship of like you may have to do some missions, in the dark zone or whatever they want to call it, that is you experiencing something through after death and then coming back, from there. And maybe there's going to be so many deep levels of analyzation as far as where they're going with the lore of the game. But what's so cool is that they're building a new world, and that is exciting in science fiction fantasy. I love that, and I'm just super stoked to see where this could go.
Yeah, me too, man. It looks great. I mean, the score on it's beautiful. It's definitely unique. It definitely makes you think. I mean, that trailer, if anything, it made me think. I was just like, you see so much and you're just like, why are there babies in tanks? You know what I mean?
Right? It just leads off with like a baby in someone's stomach, and it looks like they're literally down in the stomach, like not in a uterus per se, like just down the throat. You see that trailer open up and like there's a baby in someone's stomach. You're like, what the hell is going on?
Yeah, and it's interesting too, because there's some scenes in there too with it. Yeah, obviously they put these babies in these tanks, and then they take them out there actually on the field when they're out in the fields, and I guess they have maybe something to do with their connection to the past somehow. And we'll have to see how that plays into it actually, but it looks like they have to like go back to wherever they came from to almost recharge. Or like, did you see that scene where they were like going back into where they were kind of replacing them back into like a bigger tank? So whatever you have the baby, it looks temporary.
Yeah, it does. And I don't know if that's a part of the game where maybe like these babies become some crucial aspect of like you need to collect babies throughout the game, or like,
do you know how funny that's?
I mean?
Please collect. You pass go.
Yeah, exactly. Like I don't know how they're going to incorporate that as far as like gameplay, or maybe it's just you have one baby throughout the whole game, and that's your baby. That's like your rope to come in and out of the light and dark zone, or whatever they want to call it.
By the way,
so
just horrible segue just from talking about somebody who's just pretty much growing babies. But dude, my baby, shout out, 1 year old today.
Hey, happy birthday, Rowan.
Patrick Carrot, 1 year old.
Damn, dude. Crazy. God, you're gonna be so embarrassed in like 5 years when you hear this. Oh my god,
he's gonna hate it. And I'll tell you something else he's gonna hate. He wouldn't fit in one of those tanks. I'll tell you that much.
That's right. Yeah.
He wouldn't have fit in it 6 months ago. Oh my god, big boy. Anyway, no, let's continue. So I found that very interesting. I told you off recording that this trailer kind of reminded me of a couple different things, and I'll kind of dive into them just briefly. The first one was like kind of reminded me of Divergent. Did you see that series? It was like Divergent, and then Invergent, and then all the other Urgents.
I have not seen them, but I do know what they are.
Okay, it's kind of like Maze. It's kind of like Maze Runner too. I don't know if you've seen Maze Runner.
Yeah, I've seen Maze Runner.
Okay, so I don't mean Maze Runner in the sense of they're in this kind of grand arena that they have to escape, but it's kind of like a death
or something.
Yeah, it's kind of like a within the city bounds, it's very prosperous, and then outside of that, it's very desolate, and it's just not doing well, and pretty much just controlled by militarized government. So that's very much what I get from this. It looks like you're obviously hiding, and you're sneaking around for a reason, because you're not supposed to be out there, and we'll have to figure out why you're not supposed to be out there. Which will be fun to figure out. Now, I will tell you, I'm awful at these kind of games for whatever reason. Maybe I'm horrible at sneaking around in real life.
Mm-hmm.
I'm awful at these games. So hopefully you can help me out. Like I said, buddy, hopefully you can help me out. The next one was kind of like a little Minority Report. We'll have to see what these babies are all about. But even in Minority Report, with those people in the tanks, at least collecting information about the future. Maybe these babies are collecting information about the past, but they're, in tanks, and those were kind of adults, but they grew up their whole lives in those tanks. And they were known as those kind of special, like psychic human beings. So we'll have to see. That kind of just reminded me of those two movies, and all thrown into one, which seems like a lot of fun.
Yeah, totally. I mean, there's so much science fiction pull here that is pulled from so many different franchises and whatnot. But yeah, I am super stoked to see where they can possibly go with it. Hey, any Norman Reedus fans that just want to ride a motorcycle, you're going to get your chance in this game, because it looks like there's vehicles as well, and they featured a motorcycle in that trailer the other day. So,
but people are not going to be satisfied. They're going to be like, well, what about the crossbow?
Yeah, exactly. Well, I did see in that trailer there was like a grappling hook, and there's the other tools at your disposal, like a retractable ladder and some type of climbing pickaxe or something that kind of feels similar to maybe Tomb Raider as far as accessing your environment around you and whatnot. But I'm super stoked for Death Stranding. We also got announced this week that it's coming out this year. That was the big reveal.
Finally,
we're gonna get it this year, and we won't have to wait till 2020. It's gonna come out November 8th, I believe.
Unless they want to pull an Avatar.
Yeah, unless any last second post-production.
Is there any talking with James Cameron? Hopefully not.
Oh God, I hope he's not involved.
Stick to Terminator.
Yeah. So November 8th, it's coming out. Super stoked for it. This is gonna be another Sony first party hit, I can already tell. And yeah, Microsoft is just drooling at the bit that they're not going to be able to, have any rights to this. And it's a Sony first party game. So huge kudos to Sony for locking down Hideo Kojima after his dismissal from Konami. He's a great developer. I love his work. Can't wait to see this new world we're about to venture in. And I want to say, kind of leading off or sending off here for the next week or whatever. End of next week is the start roughly of E3, Electronic Gaming Expo, and this is our time of the year to get a bunch of new game reveals and neat things that are going to be happening in the industry as far as the end of the calendar year. Very excited for that. Another Sony first-party title that I briefly mentioned before. We're going to see more from probably Last of Us Part 2. That game just looks unbelievable, and talk about a rich story and just really in-depth characters that are really, written on paper to really move you as a player, and really, really cool stuff. So super psyched for that.
I need to get into that one, man.
Yeah, dude, if you've not played that, it's remastered for PlayStation 4, so
awesome.
Get on it, man, because that game, I don't know now if it will come out by the end of this year, but I was thinking that at first, but if they're going to hit Death Stranding first, that'd be huge, man. If they had Death Stranding and Last of Us Part 2 for the Christmas holiday, that'd be huge. But anywho, super stoked and can't wait to see what comes next. I don't know if we're going to get any more gameplay. I'm sure we will get more gameplay reveals either at E3 or through Gamescom and whatnot later throughout the summer. But
yeah, at least one
super
more.
Super psyched. Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
But yeah, totally. If you guys are looking forward to it too, make sure to just go look up on any of the IGN.coms or Giant Bombcasts. I'm sure they'll be talking about it, and have at it. It's gonna be a great game.
Yeah, I'm excited, man. I think that's gonna be a lot of fun to play.
Cool.
All right. Well, awesome. Well, thank you, Mr. Michio, for joining us again tonight during this midweek podcast. This is officially episode 10, but I like to label the longer episodes and leave these ones kind of just by themselves within the title. So we'll call this one 9.5.
Yeah, there you go. I like
How does that sound? 9.5?
That sounds nice.
9.5?
9.9.
Oh God, never going back
5?
to
No,
never.
we just can't. We can't get over the 9s. We love 9 too much. I can't do it.
If you listen to that intro in Game of Thrones, we just really go for the 9s.
A little too much. Yeah.
I think that was maybe actually the most coherent in the very, very beginning of that episode.
That was it. All downhill from there. All downhill.
Yes. And Mike, let's tell these guys, man, where you can find us. I mean, we got you. You're listening to what? You listen to Google Podcasts. I listen to iTunes. We're obviously on Anchor. That's who sponsors us, which is great. But we're on Spotify.
Apple Podcasts.
Yeah, so you can find us Twitter page at What's the Focus. If you ever want to leave us an email, just with any questions or anything you guys have suggestions about, as we've been stating at the end of every episode, feel free to get a hold of us. It's What's the Focus at yahoo.com. Pretty easy there. Please don't hesitate. We love
totally.
hearing from you.
We're actually thinking of having like an email grab bag at the end of every episode where we pre-select some questions to answer, and be great to engage with you guys. So please do.
Yep, a lot of fun. Take advantage, please. We really enjoy hearing from our, can you believe it, fans. Can we say that yet? Do we have fans?
God, it feels so new to me. My God,
did I rush
people
it?
Are people still listening to us?
Did I rush it? If they
I
are,
think, yeah, I don't know.
they're bored,
maybe,
man. They're
maybe
bored.
A little bit.
If they're listening to us, they're just so bored.
They're just bots that are listening to us. That's it. That's it.
Cybernetic organisms.
Yeah, it's just good. Oh my God, I just like push a button and I listen to the podcast. It's super fantastic.
Yes, and I'm now going to probably talk like that all day tomorrow, but that's okay. People will just be like, typical Ryan. That's fine. No difference. No difference at all.
Ryan took his happy pills today.
Hey, I told you that in confidence. All right. Let's let these people go. Again, thank you so much for listening. This is WTF What's the Focus podcast. Appreciate you guys. We'll talk to you soon.
Peace out.
folks, Dirk Bentley here. Being on the go is a big part of my life. I love seeing new places, meeting new people, and performing all over the world. For energy on the go, for me, it's 5 Hour Energy. It works fast, works long, and it tastes good. With 0 sugar and 4 calories. Try it. It could work for your on-the-go life too. 5 Hour Energy. Energy on the go.
Get 5 Hour Energy at your local Sheets.
Hi, it's Jamie, Progressive's #1, #2 employee. Leave a message at the... Hey, Jamie, it's me, Jamie. This is your daily pep talk. I know it's been rough going ever since people found out about your a cappella group, Mad Harmony, but you will bounce back. I mean, you're the guy always helping people find coverage options with the Name Your Price tool. It should be you giving me the pep talk. Now get out there, hit that high note, and take Mad Harmony all the way to nationals this year! Sorry, it's pitchy.
Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Price and coverage match limited by state law.